With me now, Policy Director of the Conservative Partnership Institute and Senior Advisor to the Internet Accountability Project, Rachel Bovard. Rachel, good to see you. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Rachel, talk Facebook first. I mean, I understand that Facebook is a private entity, but this was at the behest of governments, particularly California and New Jersey. That's awful.
Yeah, I think this is what's really stunning is that it's overt now. Facebook took orders from the government to remove content, particularly First Amendment protected content and First Amendment protected speech, and they did so without even a second thought. And keep in mind that just last year, Mark Zuckerberg was at Georgetown University extolling the values of Facebook and how people could use Facebook to challenge their government when it was appropriate. Well, apparently not, because when the government tells Facebook to take down content, they will do so. And that's where we are now.
Yeah, and that's, I think, why a lot of people are terrified and why a lot of people are crying foul about the First Amendment, because regardless of whether Facebook's a government entity or not, they are intentionally trying to suppress information that the government doesn't want people to see. And you don't have to agree with the protests to find that to be chilling. In fact, everybody should find that to be chilling, no matter whether you want to be at the protest, you think it's wise, or whatever your opinion are. It's really horrifying to see Facebook doing that. Rachel, talk to me about these drones. They're Chinese-produced drones that are being used now by police in the United States to essentially spy on American citizens. I think I speak for a lot of people across our country when I say, what is happening?
I know the irony of irony is that these drones are from China, itself the most authoritarian country in the world, now being used on U.S. citizens. You know, we really do have to balance civil liberties at this moment. This is critical because this is what separates us from authoritarian regimes like China. We do have a balance for public health. It is incredibly important, but we cannot remove the things that make us America. And I think what we're really seeing here is kind of stunning because it is corporate power and state power using or colluding on similar ends to achieve similar means. And so, this is where I think we've crossed the Rubicon a little bit. We're in uncharted waters here, and I think some oversight is necessary.
Right, and we started out our show tonight basically debunking this binary choice that politicians, and in this case a sheriff, are putting before us, that if it saves just one life, it's worth the suspension of your inherent constitutional rights. That's not true. We know, by the way, that they simply don't have the power to do that. They don't have the right to make that call, the authority to make that call. We also know that these draconian lockdowns actually are going to and are causing the death of people because of the lockdown and not the virus. So it's a false choice to begin with. And then the media. This is the last thing I want to ask you about is the media. George Stephanopoulos, he's part of the media ostensibly, and he's suggesting that it's the proper thing for Facebook to do to suppress this information because he doesn't like it.
Well, of course, right? You know, if it's in his agenda, then of course it's okay for Facebook to take it down. Keep in mind, too, that Facebook and Twitter just several weeks ago were blocking and banning users for sharing any kind of story that coronavirus started or was initiated or somehow linked to a lab in Wuhan, China. Well, come to find out that is now confirmed. That story has been reported, well documented by the Washington Post and others, and even the U.S. intelligence services have confirmed it. But Facebook and Twitter they anoint themselves the arbiters of truth, and therefore these users get banned for sharing that story. So we've seen just how much unchecked power these corporations have and what they're willing to do with it. And I think it's chilling and troubling to a lot of people.
It is. All the more reason to support limited government and not give politicians the power to do this, or elect politicians who would abuse and will abuse and are abusing the power when they have it. Rachel, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it.